Hi everyone. Today I have something very special. This here, it's a bit hard to see because he's primed black, is a Space Marine Ork. He's part of the Mareen Boys kit from Mezgike. Amazing minis. I love his dredge. If you've seen my other videos, I have quite a big dredge army. And now I decided, you know what? I support him on Patreon. I have all these orcs. Let's print some. You never have enough orcs. So I decided to have a whole squad of Mareen Boys to match my Goff Orks. As such, I'm going to be painting this guy with black armor with a few red spots here and there, so he matches the rest of my Orc army. Let's have some fun with him. To start off, I have here on my brush some Corvus Black, and I'm going to go around and get all of his armor like this. You'll see Corvus Black isn't a matte black, it's more of a dark grey with a little bit of blue in it. The reason for that is we want to have some visual interest on our models always, and the best way of doing that, well, not the best, but the easiest way is using a wash. And you can't wash a plain matte black. So I just have a very old base brush. I have some Corvus Black. I'm going to shove this anywhere. If I get it over the skin, over the weapons, it doesn't make a difference because this is the first coat. I'm painting over it. So let me go around and Corvus Black all of the armor that I want to be black. With that medium dark tone applied, I'm now going to weirdly carry on with the armor. The reason for that, I want to do some dry brushing. It'll make my life a lot easier. I have here some Mechanicus Standard Grey, a bit of a kitchen towel. I've wiped most of it off on my brush. An easy way that I found to check is just put a little bit on the base, and that's how much I will get off the brush. That seems like a decent amount. So Mechanica Standard Grey, a really old dry brush, and I'm just going to go around and pick out some of the more hard edges of this armor. You can see I don't have a lot of my brush, so this will take quite a few passes to actually leave something on the mini. So you can see a little bit there. Let me go along, be patient, and get some dry brushed highlights on this guy. Alright, now it's time to get a bit orky. We've got the base of the armor there. However, this is not normal armor. This is orcified armor. So I have here some lead belcher, and I'm going to pick out anything that I think would have been bolted on afterwards. So these actual rivets and things there. He's made himself some steel-toed boots by just bolting some steel onto them. I saw a few other places like this knee pad over here. This grill is a perfect example of something that I want to pick out in silver to make it a bit more orky. And go around, and anything that I think the orc bolted on afterwards, I'm going to grab in silver, as well as these power planty things, the bolts on his armor to make it look like the old studded Horus Heresy type of era. And there's a few other things, such as, obviously, his slugger and chopper. So, get the blade of the chopper, and on the slugger, pick a few parts that should be metallic. Let me go around with my lead belcher and brighten the sky a bit. I also might do his Orky Aquila in the silver. However, orcs can't just have one color metal. They make do with what they have. So I have some Balthazar gold, rather, on my brush, and I'm going to pick out some other areas that I want to be metallic, just to break it up so it's not all silver. Uh, Balthazar gold, as you can see here, is not in fact gold. It's more of like a bronzy, brassy color. So I won't go overboard with this. This is just for a few other places that I want metallic, just to break up the monotony. So there, and maybe one or two of the patches of metal. And then, after cleaning out my paint water, I've got some Mephiston red. This is going to be to pick out random bits on the armor as a sort of spot. Was it highlight color? No, spot color I think is the right term. Just because my orcs for my army are black with red, I want to continue that theme. So I'll pick out that bit there, I'll pick out the arrow over here, and just one or two other spots of the metal. The armor is pretty much there, so now let's move on to some of the other parts to break up this monotony. I have here some Goff Ork brown. It's a nice light brown color that I will use for his trousers. I wanted to go light just to break up all of that black. I will avoid obviously his little crotch piece there and go around and grab his pants. This is a layer paint, so I will let it dry and then do another coat and then tidy up the places that I missed, or messed rather. Then I've got here some Baneblade brown, and this is going to be pulling double duty. One, it will be for his arm wraps, and two, it will be for his little teeth. I'm also going to use this for any other pieces that might need to be a lighter bonier color. So it looks like he's got a tooth hanging down here, as well as some wraps over there on the weapon. And if I look carefully, he seems to have some sort of piece of string tied around his neck. So I'll grab that as well in this color. That is now all the base coats except for the skin. So it's now time to give him a wash. I was thinking of doing a black wash for the black armor. However, I thought instead, let's go Agrax Earthshade, use a brown wash, just to make the armor more of a dirty black. This pulls double duty because it'll look great on the red, the browns, the tans, all of those colors. So if I get on what's going to be skin later, that doesn't make a difference. Let me go along and wash this guy all over with a nice brown wash. All right, he's looking nice and shaded now, although a little bit too dark. So I'll do one more thing before we break out the green, and that's to go back to the lead belcher. One, just to add a bit more vibrancy to some of the metal, like so, layering up but avoiding the recesses. But mostly what this is for, if I get a nice tip of my brush, is to add some chipping. So along the edges where I would normally edge highlight, I'll pick a few places to add some chipping just with the edge of my brush like so. And when I do this, you can take it as far as you want to. It doesn't take a lot of effort just to do this. And honestly, you can do a little bit and leave it like that, or you can make him very dirty and grimy and add lots of it. So whenever you think you might be done, just take a step back, hold your miniature at arm's length, see if you're happy, and if not, just add some more. Simple as that. And with that, I'm going to call the armor done and move on to my favorite part, the green skin. With my orc army, I go quite traditional. I do a light green skin for all of them. This recipe of mine starts off with Ork flesh. Ork flesh is a very thin paint though. I'm honestly surprised that it all calls it a base paint and not a layer paint. So I will need 2 coats of this on all of his skin. Obviously being careful around the areas that I've already painted. One thing I thought would be fun for this guy is to actually paint it as if he's not wearing any clothes under his top. So paint that as if it's skin showing there. Just a note, I did mess quite a big blob of glue underneath there. That should not look like that, so I'll paint it as best I can. But if you're doing one of these at home, just don't put so much super glue like I did. Let's do 2 coats of this, and I will be right back. And with that done, he's starting to look like an orc. We have 1 step left before I'm going to call this guy battle ready, and that is just to shade down that green, obviously. So I have here the contrast paint Gut Ripper Flesh, and I found Gut Ripper Flesh over Ork Flesh works quite nicely. Just give it a very big shake. And you put some on. Okay. Right now it looks kind of bad, I will admit. What happens is, as this starts to dry, it pulls away from the upper areas and leaves that Ork flesh in the highlights and darkens down the recesses. Let's get back into camera focus. I found that this gives a very nice, bright, saturated green orc skin. Let me go around and do this, and then I will pop a base on him and see how he looks. Obviously, I'm not striving for amazing standard. I'm striving to get orcs on the battlefield. So I'll see how he goes. And with that, Mezgike's Mareen Boy is done. I did end up changing the skin tone slightly. I took some Gut Ripper flesh and mixed in a drop of Ork flesh and did that because my Gut Ripper flesh is a bit dead. It wasn't really doing the contrast thing very well. Regardless, there we have it. A nice, quick, simple Ork Boy, and he'll look great on the tabletop surrounded by 19 of his buddies. New Green Horde army rules look amazing. So with that, I'm going to call him done. If you like what you saw, please leave a like down below. Let me know what you're going to paint next. Do you like Mezgike? I certainly love Mezgike. I'm certainly going to print more of these. So leave a comment if there's anything you'd like to see me paint next. Until next time, have a great day.